And we're back. Welcome back to Sunless Skies, live for LudoNarraCon, the celebration and festival of narrative games right here on Steam. I am delighted to be joined by my colleagues Leslie Ann and Connor from Failbetter. We are going to be talking a bit about the upcoming Sovereign Edition to Sunless Skies. And if you haven't played Sunless Skies before, seeing the word Sovereign Edition on the front page here on the opening screen would be quite exciting. If you were a player, this is actually the first time I'm seeing this screen in action, so this is pretty cool. But Les and Connor have seen it in action pretty much every day for like the last year. So, Les, would you mind introducing yourself for everyone?
Hi, yeah, I'm Les White. I'm Failbetter's quality analyst.
And
Yeah,
you've been working on Summer Skies and all of our other efforts for how long is it now?
Oh, well, I've been with the company, it's 3 years now, nearly. So, and that's the first thing I worked on was Sunless Skies, just as we were going into early access. Since then, I've also worked across Fall in London and Sunless Sea, but most of my work has been on Sunless Skies.
Kind
It's
of your
been
baby,
endless.
in a way.
It is.
It would be a horrible misshapen baby if it wasn't for your efforts.
Yes, it's my pretty baby.
Pretty,
We're all
so.
very, very proud of it. But yeah, it's precious to me.
And Connor, you're relatively new to the team. I think this is the first time we've done like a public-facing thing where it's your voice talking,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Cool.
So hello, internet. I'm Connor Halford. So I'm a senior gameplay programmer at Failbetter. I joined about 9 months ago, and yeah, I've been the main developer on Skies since then.
So this is going to be the first big release we've done since you joined, right? That big.
Yeah, so we did a couple of updates since I joined. We did one small one, which was just adding the horn and a few bits of content, which
People went mad for.
yeah, we'll get to that in a bit, I guess. And then,
Was it nice to have your first like release of the game be something that people bit off your hand to get?
yes, yeah, that first update was really funny actually because yeah, that was our like most requested feature, right? Was to add a horn that players could toot,
Yeah.
and we added that in, and it serves no function in the game, but it's just really great for role playing.
All
So
people
yeah,
wanted.
people loved it. Yeah.
Great.
Horns are important. Yeah.
They are, and we received all these things in the post from people saying, "Please give us a horn. I want to toot," and like a PowerPoint presentation. And someone came to an event and gave us a chocolate train, and someone sent us what was it, like a wooden train whistle that they really wanted a horn for the game.
Oh, and they like painted, or well, they carved and then painted sigils on the outside of it. So they'd really gone to town. It was amazing.
It was a cursed object, like it was a possessed object. But I every time I see it in the office, though I haven't been obviously now in weeks, every time I see it, I do get a little toot, just you know, to give my spirits up. So it's worth saying about Sunless Skies that it is a game that has been alive for yonks. We kickstarted it in 2017. We went into early access the same year. We released it in 2019. And since release, we've done a number of really kind of generous, I think, huge updates to it to add new stories, to add to your steam locomotive flying through this Victorian vision of space. You then get new officers and mascots, and we redid an entire region to make it even more gorgeous. Like it's a game that has seen a lot of love, and a lot of player feedback has gone into the game, which is something that we really enjoy working with. We even added a way for people to give feedback within the game, which I think is fantastic.
Yes,
That's been one of my favourite updates.
Yeah.
That's been your favorite feature, isn't it, Les?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All of the bugs sent straight to you now.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's fantastic. It really is fantastic because before that we were dealing with reports like that through an email system, and this has made it much more streamlined and taken a huge part of a lot of work off of me. So I love the bug reporter. It's fantastic, and I get a lot of data from it as well, which helps me narrow down certain technical issues. It's fantastic.
And it's like it's a real gift to have such an excited and committed and foolhardy and bizarre community that they love what we do, and we love having their help, and we just kind of go into these bizarre universes hand in hand, skipping along together, which is like one of the best parts of my job as well, is hearing directly from them.
Yeah, it's been fun having the feedback, because the more time we spend working on this Sovereign update, the more feedback we get, which is like, oh, I wish we had this in the game, and we're like, ah ha ha, it's coming, we've done it, you just haven't got it yet.
So this is a bit of an exclusive first look at what's coming in Sovereign. We've given some written lists of it before, but nobody's seen it in motion yet. So this is like, yeah, part one. Sovereign is coming in August, September time. It will be a free update to PC game owners. So it's the same as any of our other game updates, that everybody will get them for free. So if you pick it up now, then you will obviously get the special edition Sovereign version when that drops. It is also coming to consoles, something that we haven't done much of before, certainly this close to when the game originally came out. I say close. January 2019 to September 2020 isn't desperately close, but it's as close as we've ever got, so we're pretty pleased. And it will be coming to Switch, Xbox One and PS4 at the same time. So if you prefer to have your experience sofa-based, or with a full console controller support on your console box attached to your TV, then you can do that too. So let's take a little look at what is new in Sovereign. Do you want to start with one of the input things, or what do you want to look at first?
I think maybe since we're here, yeah, we'll look at the, I guess it's just a small quality of life thing, but it's a real big deal, which is officer auto equipping. Because what a lot of our players don't realize is that once they've recruited an officer, you have to assign them before you get their bonuses. They give you stat bonuses. But we've had so many reports of people saying, oh, I've been flying around the skies for 60 hours now, and I did not realize that I had to equip these people. So yeah, so Connor implemented this amazing system, which, as you'll see, I'm going to recruit the incautious driver, and they even will pop up automatically on the officers tab, and this is how you assign them. Before they were assigned, they just appeared in your roster, but they didn't equip, so you didn't get any of their bonuses. They have to have this little hat.
This is a fun thing to work on, because I was a backer and a player before I was a developer, before I joined Failbetter. And I was one of those players who, yeah, was playing the game for hours, and then I suddenly clicked this button and was like, oh, that's how you equip them. And so, yeah, it was fun X months later coming in and actually being the one to add that feature. But yeah, we've got lots of quality of life improvements like that in Sovereign, things where just little things where lots of players have just stumbled on this one thing, and so we've been sweeping through and adding lots of improvements like that.
It should be a real kind of smoothing and finessing of the experience, which is itself already pretty smooth and finessed. It's like it's one of those things where you can't quite see it until you throw thousands of people at it, and then it becomes extremely obvious.
Yeah, I mean, even small things like, because there's some huge changes that we've made to Sovereign, but there's also these real little changes that are just huge quality of life updates, but they're not that noticeable. So the way we're handling scrolling now, and that we've changed the way that quality results display to make things clearer. And
yeah, there's a lot of extra information being added in, both like practical and flavor. So do you want to grab a prospect, for example, Les?
I am at Prosper, so I will need to head over to
in the wrong
to New Winchester. I will do this. The chart is one of the things that we've updated. It's a very lovely chart now. The regions are in the correct order now.
Yeah.
They've been out of sync for a long time, which is fantastic. So Connor might explain a little bit more about the chart improvements, but while I head over to New Winchester and we'll have a look at the prospects.
Yeah, so there were a few chart polish things that we added. One was the controls, just making it a bit more responsive. having the tooltips show up. So each of those icons on the chart, you can click on them to reveal extra information about that location. But now you just mouse over it to get the tooltip. Just it's some more of those quality of life things where over time we realize like, oh, we can just make this a bit simpler, a bit quicker, a bit easier to do.
And the engine that we're in is a bit different. Is that right? Oh, not the engine, the engine of the engine.
Oh, I forgot about this. Yes, so I've got a new engine here, the Devourer. This is the new Tier 4 engine that is being released with Sovereign. And it's a beast. So it's a lot faster than any of the other engines that we've got out there. It's also got the FSM, the full steam mode. So I tell you what, let's, whoops.
Yeah,
let's
so
charge this, and I'm probably going to crash into something.
Yeah, building up the steam in the engine.
Hey.
And you shoot off. Yeah, so we since I've joined, we did 2 updates. We did that small horn update, which is our most requested feature, and then the second update we did was a much bigger one, added lots of content, and this was one of the big things that I worked on, which was this full steam mode. So yeah, we now have these equipable engines that you can add to your locomotive, and if you get the higher tier ones, they have this full steam mode that you can charge up, and then it all explodes out in this big load of speed. And when you're in this mode, you've got worse handling, so it's really like it's a commitment when you're firing off your engines like this. And this is actually our second most requested feature to speed up the travel times. So yeah, this was a fun one to work on.
Let it go.
Yeah, the artists and the writers did a really great job of making it feel like the engine is going to blow up at any minute.
Just that little dose of peril that we like to inject into everything in the skies. Yeah, look at that. You're really making some speed there, geez.
Yeah, this one comes with a really nice bit of content as well. You have to kind of, whoa, I'm going to crash. There we go. Yeah, you have to do a little quest before you get hold of this thing. You're essentially building it or helping somebody build it. So that's nice. And it's worth it.
Yeah, like we don't want to make anything too simple, you know. It has to come with a little story. It has to come with a little something. That's that kind of idea that we have of story goes everywhere. Like anywhere there's a bit of space, we whack a little bit of story in there and really enrich the whole game world that way.
Yeah, I really love the little snippets of lore that get dropped whenever you engage the engines. If you've got a whole bunch of crew, all of your officers in the ship, and as soon as you fire off the engine, one of them is going to have some wacky response to it.
God,
your aunt looks very disapproving.
Your aunt clutches her pearls and flattens herself against the wall, kind of thing. Yeah. For those of you who don't know much about Sunless Skies, the characters and the locations that you go to are kind of outside the normal range of what you might expect from a game. Typically, I mean, this is a Victorian vision of space where there is atmosphere and there is gravity of a sort, but the places that you go could be anything from a dilapidated seaside town in space or a tiny English village where everybody is completely obsessed with cricket and propriety. But these are all kind of islands that are archipelagos laid out across these fantastical space visages. Like it's a very otherworldly experience, and the characters therefore are also kind of a real mixture. You know, you've got your aunt who is your aunt, but then you also have a repentant devil who is an actual devil. It just gives me great joy to work on something that is so unexpected. Oh yeah, so we're looking at prospects.
So yeah, we've added little hints to prospects. So when you claim a prospect, it'll give you a hint as to like where you could find that item. It's not exhaustive. There are many places where you can pick up that item, but the most common it will show you. And there's also opportunities, and we might not get one because they're, you know, it's a chance of whether you
they're a random
get an opportunity.
Chance. Cool.
Yeah, so
but we got one. That's amazing. So yeah, it shows you the opportunity, and it gives you another place where you might be able to pick up, well, definitely a place where you can pick up this item. You can go and rather than engaging with the bazaar to pick up this sort of a bargain, it's a regular story. So you'll find that over in like the stories tab at that port that is indicated there, and you can pick up a seriously good bargain. So yeah, with this one it will show us.
Yeah, and some of them are quite interesting. Like they have little stories attached to them. So, like some of them are like a ship has crashed somewhere that was carrying a load of this cargo, and so you go and you find the wreck and you retrieve the goods from it and things like that. So
yeah, because it's not just ports, is it? Like you say, it's like
we
homesteads
spawn in
and stuff,
these new things around the world to give you these special opportunities.
So we didn't get an opportunity with the flowers for Titania prospect, but you can see the hint there that, well, these kind of things, you can find them at Hybris or the nature reserve. So it's a little bit clearer as to what to do and where to go.
That's quite impactful because oftentimes the main way you're making money is by pursuing these. So the more kind of clear and precise we are, the quicker you can make that cash.
Yeah, so the hints are another quality of life thing, and then the opportunities are just this twist that make it a bit more fun and engaging.
And it looks like we're going to get hungry quite soon.
We probably will, and I kind of want to. There's an opportunity at Port Prosper, so I'm going to head back where we came from, right? But maybe we should show off the new character progression screen and talk about that a little bit, because that's epic. So if I open this, I am ready to level up. I've got a few facets to take. If I go through this, Connor can maybe explain what we're seeing.
Yeah, so this is a completely redone menu. There were a few goals in this menu. So this is how you level up in the game. So currently we're level 1 and the cap is 20. And Chris, our narrative director, he came up with this brilliant design for this system where as you're leveling up, you're actually revealing aspects of your past as a character in this world. And so you can, leveling up both has a mechanical advantage because it increases your stats, but it also has this narrative advantage because both for role playing, because you can define who your character is, but then also for actual quests and storylines. Like some characters in the world will respond to you based on the facets in your past and what you did. And yeah, so this is the redesigned menu, making these lovely icons from some of our artists much more prominent, making it clearer what the distinctions are, what the differences are. So a lot of the facets work in this way, where they give you +5 to one stat and +3 to a secondary stat. Some other quality of life improvements here. So now in the top right, we show you what your current value of the stat is and what bonus your currently equipped officers will give. And we're showing those as separate numbers now, so that you can more clearly upgrade your stats and know, well, if I unequip these officers, this is the value of the stat that I'll have.
See exactly what you're getting.
Yeah.
And it is so nice to see the art just that little bit bigger as well.
Yep. Yeah, it looks really cool once you've got like a full like level 20 character. This screen, it's beautiful, and it's also just like this really unique history of your character and your playthrough.
You'll be able to go above 20 with the stats as well now.
Yes, so that's another new thing we added. It's another thing where we keep getting feedback from our end game players saying they want to increase their stats. There isn't currently a way to do that once you hit that level cap. And so we've done a couple of things for Sovereign. One is we've decreased the stats requirements for some of the highest tier equipment, because in the current game you have to min-max your stats a bit too much in order to get that really high tier equipment. So you had to really sort of specialize in like one or two of your stats. There's 4 main stats. So we've rebalanced the game slightly reduced those top end requirements so that you can have a broader character. And then now, yeah, once you're level 20, you can still continue to gather experience, and you can use that experience to buy stat upgrades. There is a limit to those as well. You can't just have 2,000 in every stat, but yeah, you can now specialize your character without feeling like you can't make facet decisions based on role playing. You don't have to min-max your stats as hard now.
Look at you piling up the old upgrades there, Les.
Looks great.
So good. I love
Should we-
that teapot art as well, and the china art. Just
We'll
so
have that
cute.
then.
Should we leave some for the radial menu?
Yes, yes, of course. I tell you what, there's the wonderful bug reporting tool. Just point that out. I will activate a controller and we'll do the rest of this. So,
Oh,
the radial.
Yes.
This is the most fantastic thing that we've introduced for the controller. So I will go through this as maybe Connor explains this, because you're super proud of this, as you should be.
Yes, yeah, I was the developer for this one, and of course our UI artist did a really great job as well. I was working closely with him for this. Yeah, so when you're playing with a keyboard and mouse, we have this little toolbar on the right-hand side, which is how you access these side menus like the officers and your inventory. But for gamepad, that didn't really work. We used to have this control scheme where you'd be able to move your like UI focus into that toolbar and open it through there, but it was never a very fluid experience. And so this is probably the biggest reworking of gamepad controls. This is a big focus in Sovereign, because it's going to be the version launching on the consoles, has been reworking the control scheme for the locomotive, and all of the UI navigation to be a much smoother, fluid experience with a gamepad. And yeah, the radial menu is like the heart of that redesign.
looks so satisfying as well to use.
Yes, yeah, we spent a good amount of time, me and Toby, our UI artist, on polishing it up, because it's where a lot of time is going to be spent if you're playing with a gamepad.
And that goes, of course, across PC and console.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, all of the improvements for gamepad functionality are going to be available in the Sovereign update for PC as well as on the consoles.
So fabulous.
Fab.
Bam, look at that. Alright, so there's some other little bits and pieces. We should see some new Hungry Boy content turning up soon. Ah, there we are.
Oh, on cue. Oh dear. So.
Yeah, we've run out of fuel. Not fuel. We run out of supplies. Quite a bit of the day-to-day kind of gameplay in Sunless Skies is to do with managing your fuel, your supplies, and your kind of state of mind while you're out and about flying around in the skies. So something that's coming in Sovereign is an addition to and a reworking of, in a way, the stories that you see when you are starving. Without wanting to go too much into it, because it's some of the best stuff in the game, I think.
Yes, yeah.
And it's some of the favourite elements of our work that are my favourite, is that when you are failing, it gets most interesting. That's where I think my favourite stories are, and the experiences that you get when you are at the last barrel or the last box of supplies. Oh, hello.
Oh, I'm starving, man. I'm starving. Oh, do I eat? We should be pragmatic, I think. Yeah.
That'll get us back to port. Oh dear.
Yum, yum, yum.
Yeah, and cannibalism, we refute any rumours that we are indeed cannibals, but there's quite a bit of cannibalism in our games.
Well, you do what you got to do to survive,
Right. We're so close. I wondered why you were taking us past the unknown rattlers. You're famously a fan of rats. Look at this.
I mean, he's got a purpose here. He's lowering my terror, so
yes,
it's always worth a trip to the memorial to the unknown rat.
The wonders of the skies hearten your crew and help them with their terror levels, which is lovely. And then, of course, there are terrible things that you can see that will scare them out of their pants. So it's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, really.
Yeah, I mean, you can recruit some terrifying things to be part of your crew.
Yeah, indeed. Oh yeah, I got into a little bit about the captivating princess with James, and without trying to go into her story too much. She's a dreadful beast. She's gorgeous, but she's a dreadful beast.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think it to look at her. There are some other little bits and pieces that are perhaps not so immediately noticeable. Save file format cleanup and like 100 bugs, or like you've been cracking bugs like
way more than 100.
Yes, yeah, we've been smashing through the backlog. Yeah, so I will just talk about saving a little bit. So the saving in the game, it used to be sort of hidden behind the scenes, and players were a bit unsure about quite when the game saved. So we did a couple of things there. One was we added an on-screen saving indicator now, so people are much more aware of it. We reworked how you can quit out of the game, so you can now, in the pause menu, there's an explicit save and quit option. And as you'll see here,
no,
are you going to make it?
See your crew. Mole's going to eat your crew.
Well,
no! I didn't realise I was going to eat that many. Oh man! Now I've lost my full Steam mode. You see, because I just opened that radial.
Yeah, you don't have enough crew to man the engine.
Try and recruit some people.
So close to pause as well.
Yep.
Some of the close calls you can expect. Yeah. So you were saying, Connor, about the indication of saving.
Oh, well, actually, so that new facet available in Sunday Dinners, that's another addition that's been added for Sovereign Edition. So if you hang on from docking just for a sec, there's review. Have you already done it? Okay. Top right, there's the saving indicator.
Oh, there he goes.
But just to go back to those deeds quickly, so yeah, the facets are how you level up. It's part of your character creation as well as your stat boosting. And we've added, I think, 10 new facets that you can pick now. And we also have a bunch of deeds in the game. So based on your actions, you can, as a character, you can unlock new facets, either for yourself or for future captains in your lineage. And so, yeah, having just eaten a whole bunch of crew, that's a deed worthy of an aspect of your past. So you just unlocked a new deed. And yeah, so for the saving, so now, as you saw, when Les docked at this port, we then saved, and that was indicated on the screen. And it's much more consistent now. So we save when you dock or when you undock from a station, a platform, and a relay as well. That was another request from our players. We have these transit relays, which is how you travel between the different regions in the game. And previously, we didn't save when you docked at one of those or when you went through it, but we do now. So it's more consistent for players.
The control scheme for the gamepad is different for actual flying.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, that's probably the thing I'm most excited about, actually, for Sovereign. Yeah, we completely reworked not only how you navigate all of the menus with the radial and these prompts down the bottom and things like that, but also, yeah, how you fly the locomotive, how you use your equipment while you're out and about in the skies. And it feels a lot more responsive now. It feels, the whole game now feels like a really natural fit to play with a gamepad.
And what do you think is your thing that you're most excited about for Sovereign, Les?
Oh, it's absolutely the all the controller support. It's like Connor's been explaining. It's not just all the bug fixes, because we did, unfortunately, launch with quite a few controller bugs. But it's the whole rework of the control scheme and how it works across the UI. It just feels really intuitive now, and it will be wonderful to finally get that out there in everybody's hands, and so people can enjoy it properly. Because it is great. It is absolutely fantastic, this new control scheme. And when we go from Sovereign back to the live build at the moment, it's like, oh heck, this is really
Yeah.
slightly clunky, and yeah, it's just so it's wonderfully designed now. It's great stuff.
It's always a struggle, like reprogramming your mind to work in the old control scheme versus the new one, because the new one feels very intuitive.
That's fantastic. I think people are really going to not realise how good they're going to get it. But which isn't to say that there's anything up with the game as it stands. As I said, Sovereign will be coming as a free update in August, September sort of time. But it's probably, I would recommend picking up the game in the sale now, which is happening on the Steam front page right now. And just waiting. Waiting for the new controls. Or have a go on the old controls and then see how much more amazing the new ones are.
Yeah, or of course, just mouse and keyboard. You know, we are historically a PC developer,
Yeah.
so yeah, the game does control very well with a mouse and keyboard. It's not a perfect experience with a gamepad at the minute, but it will be when Sovereign launches.
Yeah, and I'm very much a console first person, so the idea of being able to play seamlessly with a gamepad makes me very happy. And I think that's almost everything we wanted to talk about. Oh, did we want to mention the curator? Maybe leave some things a little bit secret.
Yeah, maybe. I think that what thing in particular would be a nice shock for people when they first encounter it.
Well, we do like to, we like to keep some things up our sleeve. That's just the way we do it. That's just how we make games, really. Fantastic. So we've shown you all the different new facets and deeds, upgrades to your captain. Talked about stat increases. Talked about the gorgeous radial menus and the much smoother way of controlling with a gamepad.
A cheeky addition, actually. Les has just gone through one of those relays that I mentioned earlier, so she's now travelled into a different section of the world, different region, and some players may have noticed that loaded much faster. We've been doing a lot of optimizations in all sorts of areas of the game, fixing memory leaks, reducing our asset usage, reducing memory loading times all over the shop. So yeah, game loads and runs much smoother now, especially on the lower end devices.
Which is, that's great news because it means more people will be able to enjoy it.
Yes.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, thank you both for joining me. LudoNarraCon continues all weekend. I'm going to be, these videos will be repeated, so if you came in halfway through, you can always pop back round, and we'll probably put them on YouTube after LudoNarraCon as well, just in case you missed out. But thank you very much, Connor. Thank you, Les.
Thank you.
We will see you in the skies.
Yep. Toot toot.
Toot toot.